The genesis of the Baltimore Angels came really, it was after a board meeting, believe it or not, a Greater Baltimore Technology Council board meeting. At the time, Dave Troy and myself were serving on the board, and it's something I had been thinking about for a while, and something that Dave had been thinking about, as well as Newt Fowler and some other folks. And so after a board meeting, you know, I was running Blue Sky Factory at the time, and I was never really much of a public markets guy, and I had some money that I wanted to invest. And I was also sort of like missing, you know, being probably in year 8 of my startup now, that raw entrepreneurial energy that I had when I was, you know, when I just started back in 2001. So I wanted to get back. It was my way of saying, like, getting back close to hanging with entrepreneurs and trying to add value, and also hopefully making some good investments.
What angel groups, including the Baltimore Angels, are doing is creating a professional process around what traditionally has been a random experience. An entrepreneur finds you at a cocktail party, gives the pitch, and you go, maybe, or yes and no. We're turning it into a systematic way that we evaluate the potential of a company. We have a pre-screening process where companies have to come and do 5-minute pitches, and based on that and the other information they provide us, we determine if there's enough substance there to bring them before the entire group.
The group is now close to about 50 members, very active. We meet once a month. We pre-screen companies in between the pitch meetings. We do angel education series so that we can educate investors as well as entrepreneurs around early stage capital, and things like, you know, what's involved in financing and specific topics around that. We get out in the community. We're very vocal, very supportive. We sponsor a lot of events, and we speak on behalf of the group at various events. But most importantly, we want to invest profitably, and we want to help our companies get to the next level of capital formation, and not be considered dumb money, but be considered strategic money.
When you have 50 people who are seasoned investors or entrepreneurs conferring on the merit of a potential business, you learn a huge amount in very short order. And I think the alpha of the group is the diversity of the members lets us make very good decisions in where we allocate our capital. Then we follow on where somebody would be the lead to negotiate the terms of the deal, but we also want to kind of be the village around these companies, so we volunteer to be advisors if our expertise matches the needs of the company. So you get an opportunity to earn a competitive return on your money. Not all these are going to work out, but a few of them are going to do very well, in my opinion. But you also get the psychological reward of making a difference through your personal involvement in these companies.
Across the whole portfolio, I think we've got, you know, well over 20 plus investments. And again, our group is not a fund, so we're a pledged group, so that means our investors invest individually. If they're interested in the group, they can write a check. But we do like to have some sort of critical mass because it does take a lot of time with paperwork. And as John mentioned, we have our own due diligence process now that we've been refining over the years. So we try to, like, you know, avoid a one-time check of $10,000 in a company and call it a Baltimore Angels investment. We like to at least have 3 or 4 people participating in those investments. No matter what your interaction is with the Baltimore Angels, you will get value from us in one shape, one form or another. So an example would be our lightning rounds that we do right here behind me in these classrooms. You know, the answer is no to a lot most of the time. Over 90% of the time, it's no. But we don't just say no, right? We say, here are the things that we didn't like, or here's the areas of concerns that you know, we'd like you to focus on, right? And so it's not uncommon for an entrepreneur to come back again and pre-screen.
You got to have a team that can learn on the run, can be brutally honest about whether they have a good product or not, can listen to the customer and take feedback from the customer and put their ego aside if they're not building a good enough platform or product or service, and they will iterate without viewing that as failure, but view it as learning. That has the ability to grow with the opportunity. I look for founders that probably have a run rate where they can keep ahead of the growth of a successful company for 2 or 3 years. And I look for integrity. People that have values where they are going to be able to manage the challenges of keeping their employees happy, their own interests, and those of investors aligned. This is a win for everybody. And what we're trying to do is marginally de-risk early stage investing. It is risky.
It is.
You know, not every company will be successful. In fact, maybe 3 or 4 out of 10 will be successful, but that doesn't mean it isn't worth investing in. You just don't know which ones will succeed. So to create a little bit less risk of your initial investment in a company, actually will bring more capital into the space, we'll have more horses in the race, and will make it more attractive to a larger universe of private investors.